Okay guys, some more work with place value and decimals. Let's get into it. Basically, we're going to be using our place value chart to help us out again, and we're going to be working on some more ways to write these decimals. You know we have standard form, you know we have word form. There's going to be a little bit more detail to that today. So on our first page here, we have an example that says 5 tree taps produce enough sap to make 1 gallon or about 3.79 liters of syrup. Read and write the number of liters in word form. So first off, it starts with the place value chart. So let's fill in that number into the place value chart. So here it is. We have tens, ones, then we have our decimal right here. Got a little excited, put it in the wrong spot. Hold on a sec while I fix that. Then we have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. So our number needs to be here. So from the original math problem, it is 3.79 liters. So let's fill it into our place value chart. The 3 is the whole number because it's in front of the decimal. Decimal right here, right? 7 goes here, 9 goes here. So far, so good. You'll be filling that into your place value chart. You'll notice that there's nothing here. You can leave that blank or you can put a 0 in it, because remember, adding a 0 to a decimal doesn't change its value. So if it makes you feel more comfortable, like it feels weird to have an open spot here, you can go ahead and put a 0 in there because you're not changing the value of the number. It's still 3.79. Now, on number 2, it asks us to look at the place value of the last digit. Well, here's our last digit that they gave us, right? They want to know place value of that digit. So the place value for that digit is 9 hundredths because it's a 9 in the hundredth spot, okay? If we're going to write this out, we're going to write this in word form. So here's word form. Let me change colors so we don't get confused. That's standard form for value. We're going to do word form. If I'm going to say this number, I'm going to write 3, and I'm going to write the word and. Every time you see a decimal, I want you to remember to say and, because I'm separating the whole number from the decimal part of the number. So if I'm writing this in word form, I'm going to write 3 and, let's look at what this is. We write the number first, 79 hundredths, because it goes to the hundredth spot. Okay, this is 3 and 79 hundredths. Okay, it's already got some of that filled in for you, so you're going to fill in the missing blanks. For example number 2, they've given us another number to work with. So here's the number that they've given us. Okay, so this is the new number we're working with. Number 1 says the thousandth place is blank places to the right of the decimal place. We're filling in blanks here. Here's the decimal place. We need to go to the thousandths place. So how many spots are we moving? 1, 2, 3. So it is 3 places to the right of the decimal. See how I just counted places there? Pretty easy. The digit has a value of blank thousandths. Well, when we move 3 places to the thousandths place, we have the 7. Its value is 7 thousandths, and that's how I write it, because I'm putting it just like it is here. Here's the 7. It's in the thousandths place. Okay? On the back, we have this crazy looking diagram. They are trying to help you fill in the number with the information that's there. Okay, so follow along with me here. I'm going to pull this just a little closer so I can see it even better. Okay, they gave us a number in word form. I'm going to erase this piece so we don't get confused. Here is the number in word form, and it's right up here in example 3. It says write 5 and 614 thousandths. So I'm going to write exactly what's on your paper. Write 5 and 600 14 thousandths. Okay, same information you have right here. They want us to write it in standard form and expanded form. Okay, here's what they want us to do. So here it is in word form. We're going to put it in standard form, which is just the numbers, and then we're going to do expanded form with it. This gets a little bit tricky, so just follow along with me. Once you get it in your head, it's going to make total sense, and you're going to be able to do it with every single number. But the first couple times we do it, it's a little tricky, so just watch carefully. I'll try and slow down just a little bit. They've got this whole drawing for you here that's pointing to the different place value spots. So looking at our number, that very first spot is the whole number spot. If you notice, here's what represents the decimal, right? That and. So if you have boxes to fill in, which we do, these are just like on your paper, boxes to fill in, there's where the decimal is. You'll notice here's the and, here's the decimal. This is for the whole number. We have that answer. It tells us 5. So we're going to go ahead and put a 5 in that spot. Okay? We're going to build this part first, and then we're going to fill in the boxes around it. Now, it says 614 thousandths. Forgot the S there. We're going to put those digits in the correct boxes. Look at the number. It's just like a period when you're talking about place value. It's those 3 digits in that area. 614 thousandths. That tells us it's going to go all the way to this spot. We're just going to write the number in like that. Okay? This is 5 and 614 thousandths. Here it is. 5 and 614 thousandths. Let's work on some of the little boxes that are coming off these, okay? On your paper, you have one here. It's got a cute little arrow over here. And it says, that's probably not big enough. It says 5 is in the blank place. Well, what place value spot is it in? So it's in the ones place, right? Remember our original place value? Let's take, we're okay with that. We know 5's in the ones place. You guys know that. Underneath it, it shows the value. It says 5 is equal to 5 times 1. The reason they do that is because it's a 5 in the ones place. So it would be 5 times 1. Okay? On the next one, it has 6 is in the blank place. Well, here it is. Here's the 6. It's in the tenths place. So you're going to write the word tenths. If I have to show that, here's what it looks like, right? Here's a 6 tenths. This is where it gets a little tricky. That is 6 times 1 tenth. The reason it's a fraction is because it's a part of a number. It's not a whole number, remember, because it's to the right of the decimal. This is a 6 in the tenths place. And we write that like this. 6 times 1 tenth. Right? Because if we did that, we'd have 6 tenths. And that's what that number is. This one says we have a 1. And it's in the hundredths place, right? We can check that with place value spots. So it is in the hundredths place. And if I have to write that, that would be, here's what 1/100th looks like. All right, they've got that for you there. That would be 1 times 1/100th, written like a fraction, because it's a 1 in the hundredths place. Okay, last one. We've already done the tenths, we've done the hundredths. This is now the thousandths place. So it is a 4. So here's what it looks like as a decimal. 4 thousandths, right? That's the same thing as 4 times 1/1000th. Okay, this fraction is basically that word, right? 1/1000th. So if they're going to take this and they want to write it in expanded form, remember we did this with whole numbers last week and a little bit before that? We're going to look at each place value spot, and it's right here written out for you. So I want you to kind of see it, and I'm going to write it. I don't know if you guys can see me at the bottom of the board. I'm going to try, but you have it on your paper if you need it. What they did was they're taking this number, and then we're going to write expanded form. So here's expanded form. And I'm just copying what's on your paper. but I want you guys to see this so it makes sense in your brains too. So expanded form, this would be 5 times 1. All I'm doing is taking this part right here. 5 times 1 plus, when you do the decimal part with the fractions, you have to put parentheses in there. 6 times 1/10, because this is a 6 in the tenths place. Okay, so far so good. 5 times 1, 6 is in the tenths place. Plus we have a 1 in the hundredths place. That's why I choose to do that fraction, because here it is right here, right? These are in here for you, but I want you to see it, because the more we write it, the more it gets in your brain. And then the last one is a 4 in the thousandths place. So it's 4 times 1,000th, just like it says here. So we're going to start seeing it as how to make up that number. So this is exactly what you've got here, okay? Now they want us to do some more practice here. So they want us, let me make us some room here because I have a feeling we're going to need it. I want to do a couple more like that with you guys. We're going to hit that again right down here. We're going to be building the number. So let's practice this part at least 1 or 2 more times because I know it's new. Don't be afraid of it. It's still pretty straightforward, but we're going to practice it. So I'm going to get rid of this part right here because we did that part already and we need some room to work. So let me take these guys out of here. And let's work with, I'm going to make up some of these numbers. So go ahead and let your paper sit on the side for a minute and just watch with me, okay? Say we have a number like, get rid of this guy too. I need more room. I need a bigger board. I'm just going to make up a number. Let's do 23 and 539 thousandths, okay? So in word form would be 23 and, because remember that decimal point is where you put the and, 539 thousandths. Okay, if we're going to build it in expanded form, because remember this is word form, this is standard form. Now we're going to do expanded form. Here's what expanded form is going to look like. We're going to take each digit and do it like we did down here. We have a 2 and it's in the tens place, so that would be 2 times 10. We need to add all these place value spots together. That's where the plus comes in. Now we're looking at the 3. This would be 3 times 1 because it's a 3 in the ones place. So tens place, ones place. Now we're ready for those decimal place value spots. Remember, decimals need the parentheses. This would be 5 times 1/10 because this 5 is in the tenths place. The only time you use fractions if you're working on the decimal side, okay? The next one would be the next digit, 3 times 1/100th, because this is in the hundredths place. And the last one would be 9 times 1,000th, because that is the thousandths place. All right? The more you do this, the easier it is. Just remember, decimal side gets fractions. Whole number side, just the regular straightforward stuff. All right, let's go ahead and move on with our guided practice. I'm going to take this guy down and take a look at number 1 under guided practice. It asks us to circle the digit in the tenths place. Here's the number that they give you. Circle the number in the tenths place. Well, tenth is right here. You do it in a different color so you can see it pretty well. Okay, you'll be able to do that. Number 2 says circle the digit in the hundredths place. We have this number right here. How do we find the hundredths place? Well, here's the ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So find the hundredths place and circle the number. That's easy. Number 3 says, write each number in standard form. So with number 3, they give us the word form, 5 and 87/100ths. So we're going to take a word form and we're going to turn it into standard form. Remember, standard form is just the number. You write just what it says. Remember, that and is the decimal. So 5 and 87, and this goes to the hundredths place. Pretty easy. Number 4 has an expanded form one written out for us, and they want to turn it into standard form. So I'll write down what it has here, and then we're going to turn it back into standard form. Plus 6 times 1 plus 9 times 1/10. 1 times 1/100th. And I'm forgetting my little plus signs. 4 times 1/1000th. Okay, this time we're building the number because they want standard form. So what we're going to do is take a look at these numbers, and it's going to tell us what to write. This is a 2 in the tens place. So there's my 2 in the tens place. This is a 6 in the ones place. There's my 6. We're moving into decimals, which means we need our decimal point. If we have a 9 in the tens place, it goes right here. If we have a 1 in the hundredths place, like that, and a 4 in the thousands place goes there. All we're doing is looking at each digit that's in a different place value spot. It's pretty easy to build from here to there. The last one says write 19 4/10 in expanded form. Okay, then write it in word form. So here's our practice for the 2 things that we've done. So let's start with what they give us. They give us 19.4, so this is number 5. 19.4, they want it in expanded form. So we're going to do it like this, right? We're going to break out those place value spots. So that is going to be 1 times 10, because there's a 1 in the tens place, plus 9 times 1, because it's a 9 in the ones place. Here's where our decimal stuff comes in, so our parentheses have to come. We have a 4, so write our 4 down, and it's in the tenths place. That's where that fraction comes in. There is 19 4/10 written in expanded form. Okay, just remember, fractions are part of the decimal side. Now they want it in word form. So how do we say this number? 19 and, because the and is the decimal, 4/10, because it's a 4 in the tenths place. All right? If you have questions, you know where to find me. You guys can do this. The more that you practice it, the easier it's going to be. If you need to watch this a couple times, you can do that as many times as you need to. You're going to have that light bulb moment where it all makes sense in your brain. Okay? We'll see you soon.